Hello, good afternoon. My name is Sofia Marquez, and the topic of today's presentation is the Internet of Things. The research question is, to what extent has the increase in the number of U.S. homes with internet increased the numbers of identity theft in the last 20 years? The answer is the increase in the number of U.S. homes with the internet is negatively impacting American security due to the increasing numbers of identity theft in the last 20 years because of the invasion of privacy, oversharing of information, and data breaches online. Identity theft. Identity theft happens when someone steals personal information to commit fraud. The stolen information can be used to apply for credit, file taxes, or get medical services. Identity theft is a growing problem as the number of Americans being affected is increasing. As shown in the graph, the number of identity theft cases has increased from 2018 to 2019 from about 440,000 to about 650,000. This is the most significant increase in cases seen in the last 5 years. The internet. There is no surprise since the innovation of the internet that the number of US homes with internet access keeps increasing. The internet is needed to power electronic devices like smartphones, tablets, computers, and more. The data shown on the graph proves how the number of American homes with internet increased from about 18% in 1997 to about 86.6% in 2019. The internet has become a vital part of Americans' lives, but because of this, more online security problems are posed. The internet is an easy source for thieves to hunt down personal information and commit identity theft. The invasion of privacy. Americans are connecting their most frequently used devices like cell phones, tablets, and smartphones, so they all share the same personal data. These devices are all connected via the internet, which is referred to as the Internet of Things. With more Americans connecting to the internet from many different devices, more security risks are posed. Throughout the last 20 years, cases of identity theft due to an invasion of privacy have increased dramatically. In an article, What is the Internet of Things by Wired, it explains an example of how devices like smartphones and smartwatches track very private information. For example, how smartwatches can detect when someone is having intercourse so that data can possibly be used against the watch's wearer. Better standards on the Internet of Things needs to be implemented so that hackers or people trying to steal someone else's identity can access that private information from these devices. The oversharing of information. Another way having information on the internet puts people at a greater risk of identity theft is because of oversharing of information online. Many Americans are unaware just how much information is collected online and the dangers of oversharing too much about themselves. General data available on the internet combined with social media information, plus data from smartwatches, fitness trackers, and if available, smart meters, smart fridges, and many more can give a great all-around idea of a person's identity. People tend to overshare information online because they do not think about the dangers like identity theft. And this can be prevented by people knowing their standards and not oversharing too much information online. Data breaches. Data breaches are the intentional release of secure, private, and confidential information to an untrusted environment. As the internet is becoming a staple in society, companies and businesses are changing to allow their customers to have access to their accounts online. This is leading to more data from these companies to be breached. As seen in the graph, the number of data breaches has been increasing throughout the years, and there is millions of exposed records, including in 2017, when there was a spike in the amount of data breaches, which has devastating effects on Americans. because their private information is released and exposed to thieves who would potentially want to steal their data. So in conclusion, identity theft is a growing problem due to the increased amount of Americans with internet access, and data breaches, oversharing information online, and the invasion of privacy are leading causes of this. Thank you. Any questions?
Do you have a couple questions for you? Yes.
Okay.
First question, let's talk about your sources. How reliable were they, and how do you know that they were reliable and credible?
I know they were reliable because I made sure to check if the authors were credible, and I used the sources given and found my own sources that related to my topic and made sure they were from trusted authors and were updated and not, so they had reliable data.
Okay. And what advice would you have for somebody that wanted to do a presentation on this topic in the future?
I would say to make the topic broader and not just focus on identity theft, but maybe like online fraud, because then you have more information to work with.
Okay.